Hi Aquarius, this is your weekly reading. You can apply this to Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising. Also, if you have a stellium or a lot of planets in the 11th house, or if you have an 11th house Sun, Moon, or Venus, this also can apply to you, especially if those things are very strongly aspected. Somebody who has a Leo moon, but has it in the 11th house, and that is aspected by Venus and the sun, and it's got a lot of strong aspects, can feel more like the house than the sun. So please take that into consideration. This is what we're going to be reading. We're going to be reading the energy of current you, person or persons or situation, and also like the alchemy that the two create, because energies, cohesion, all that good stuff. I love Aquarius, so I can just talk about quantum physics and you're not all like, you lost me. Okay, that's a nice card. So the first row, I'm looking at the current energies of you, the person or situation or persons, and the alchemy it creates. Second row, I am looking at the energies that both of you are bringing in, situation or person and yourself, to the exchange currently. Not just the energies around you, but like, what are you bringing in that you've had with you? Like, what are you bringing in to heal? What relationship communication styles or recent stuff are you bringing in? And then that is nice. That is also nice. Aquarius. Aquarius won the Divine Union reading. When I do the Friday night lives on Soul Navigation, I'm on every Friday night and it's live. So a lot of times the energy is, readings are, time and energy are fluid. So reading is like, when you find it finds you, it's all good, right? But when you're in the room on the live, sometimes the message feels extremely specific. I think at one point I did an Aquarius reading and one of the Aquarius was like, that was my childhood, because I was seeing something very specific. So it's always worth it to show up on Friday. But they won the reads 2 weeks in a row. This is now. Those are divine reads. So that's like, if you have a divine counterpart and you're not with them yet, it's like, what's going on with that? This is now. So this first row, I'm going to be looking at like the current energy. You're either just getting done dealing with Scorpio, which is a very interesting combination, or you've just had a huge transformation, like everything in your life just changed. You could have just left a long-term relationship, left a job, decided like change, real transformation, not like one little difference in your life. They are coming in also. Wow. Okay, y'all could be finding each other after divorces. We have Death card on your side, and we have the Four of Wands in reverse. And this is kind of my marriage card. This is either possible for some of you, the person that you're dealing with, and of course, these energies can be flipped. Sometimes if you have a connection really, really strong with a person, they will almost like take over your reading. I have experienced this. But so this is either you or your person, but somebody could have just had a broken engagement or a divorce, or like they're in the middle of a divorce or not yet divorced. But that's, talk about mirroring energies. So maybe this is a divine read. In the middle, you cannot make this up. Cards don't lie. The alchemy created by both of you, currently, the energy that the two create is getting over sadness, getting over feeling left out in the cold, getting over grief. Getting over, yeah. And I mean, look at, you both get cards that could represent they're people fighting. the core of you, I mean, this is what it is, right? Where you're on a spiritual channel listening to a tarot reader. For me, this card is your soul leaving a situation where the 3D nonsense, like the man-made concepts of guilt, shame, all of these things, is the bickering. And your soul's just like, I'm tired, I'm done. But that's both of you. That's the alchemy that both are creating, walking. Okay. Buckle up for this read. I got to tell you, I'm doing air signs today, and it's been intense. And I mean, I thought water signs were intense. And I was like, thank God it's air signs today. They're a little lighter. No, y'all weren't. And I thought Aquarius is like, I'll save Aquarius for last. And we are coming out the gate strong with the intensity of the energies. This is Aquarius. I'm going to spare you all. I was just saying these cards are on fire in, like, Alicia Keys style. Not that I can sing like her, but that's why I'm sparing you. You got the 6 of Wands in your energy, what you're bringing in, like you're determined to be victorious and have something to celebrate after the transformation, which is freaking fantastic energy. And they're out of hangman mode. So you're both moving out of things that I'm hearing that you stayed in way longer than you should, which is so common. That's not like a specific thing, but it's specifically both of you this time that, like, you both stayed in something. And I apologize, Libra, too. I'm turning orange because the sun is setting outside the window, which is right there. The alchemy that you're both bringing in, like the exchange, the relationship style, is the Tower. And this is like this is my love is love deck. What's interesting is that in this one, there's a crown, and there's somebody watching it burn. And I just heard that song, like the roof is on fire. I can't finish that because, if I say bad words on a new channel, that's not going to go well for anyone. But if you know that song, if you don't, just Google the roof is on fire, and they'll tell you the rest of the words. But somebody's watching that MF burn. Definitely both of you stayed in something way longer than you should. I am not sure that you're actually communicating with this person because there's no swords on the table. Usually I like to see some swords or something. We'll check into that to know that there's communication, swords or words. But you're celebrating your ending, and they don't feel stuck anymore. And the alchemy in between is like, let it burn, let it all burn down and I'm starting again. Let it all burn, let it go. Like Angela Bassett setting all the stuff on fire, like, let it burn. I have full chills. You both have this really strong liberation energy. Like, the ending of this is not bringing you sadness anymore. You did the sadness part. Now you're in the, like, I'm celebrating my escape. There are some situations that you leave and say, don't be sad that, like, it doesn't have you anymore. You celebrate your exit. What's interesting then, in the third line, what I like to look at, and this is so important to me as a reader and as somebody who works with people to help evolve, work through trauma, and just grow as people and fall in love with ourselves, right? And figure it all out. So it's important to me that one of the things that I include in the reading is the idea that everyone and every person is really just a vehicle, like you hop in on that ride, because the destination is not the person and it's not the relationship. It is what we learn about ourselves, what we discover, right? Because our soul's mission is really to get to that higher self, to get to your north node, to get to a place of happiness. And happiness is really the absence of continued extreme pain, when it's like a daily thing that invades everything in your life. It's the absence of that guilt and shame, and the embracing of who we are at the core without fear of judgment. And it's peace, the peace of not because everything is perfect all the time, because that's just not how life works. It's the peace of how you handle the things when they come at you, and the peace of being okay with yourself and not feeling like you have to change that for other people to be okay. And so that's the point of relationships. It's not to accomplish, and nobody gets that better than Aquarius. Nobody gets it better than Aquarius. You guys have the least unhealthy attachment style of the whole zodiac. And if you're on my lives, you will hear me talk about how Aquarius gets a bad rap for being detached or cold. They're not. They just don't have as many unhealthy attachments as other people do. And if they say something to you once, listen, because they're not going to beat a dead horse, and they're not going to tell you again. So you're really celebrating. And I can tell that in this instance, which isn't always Aquarius's role, you put in more, like you didn't just walk away and say, okay, I'm not doing this anymore, and just like walk away very unceremoniously, which is kind of sometimes how Aquarius does it. You really did try. So you are extra celebrating, but you're also like, let that can burn, and I will toast marshmallows on it. I'm not going to be sad. What's interesting is the lesson that you have, or what you get out of this, is the Chariot. But it's the Chariot in reverse. So here's the thing. That's the Cancer card. So as a lesson, and as the card in reverse, as like the growth that you get for your soul, for your journey toward your north node, all of that. That is a really interesting card, because this one, she's just kind of not doing anything. She's not, they're not moving, because a lot of Chariot cards are different. And some, I call them whoopahs, the reins. Whoopahs is funny. She doesn't have any in her hand, and she's quite, like, the Chariot's supposed to be about fast movement, or people at a distance, or whatever. And we're at a dead stop here. Even, look, they're sitting. For a while in your life, you didn't know which way to go. If you haven't watched The Madness and Genius of Aquarius, I think it's called, on Soul Navigation, go do that. And sometimes the brain can be busy, and Aquarius, while people involved in relationships close to them can mistake them or misinterpret them as cold or detached, they're actually the sign of the humanitarian, and they care a lot about the forward movement of society as a whole. It's a lot. 11th house suns are especially like that. It's also the house of friends. And if you have an 11th house moon or an 11th house Venus, it could be that you end up in relationships with friends a lot. People that were friends your relationships grow out of friendship quite often. What you learn from this exchange is actual movement, and not waiting for a million answers. Wow, that just came in. You tend to gather so much information before you make a big decision because you feel like all eyes are on you a lot in life. And this doesn't really have to do with the other person, right? That's the whole point of that last line, is to how does it affect you? What do you take with it out of after the exchange is over? And listen, maybe it lasts forever, but whether it lasts forever or not, the point is how does it grow you? How does it get you closer to where you're supposed to be? For some of you, this is Aquarius North Node. I'm going to start saying that. If your North Node is in the sign that I'm reading for, please watch. For some of you, this is Aquarius North Node, which would make you between like 49 and like early 51s, like people just turning 51 now, or 18 years younger than that. So, you know, people turning 28-ish into 30, 27, 28. I'm sorry, it would be like 31, 32, 33. My bad. If you're having if you're in that older set, this is like a big life lesson for you, and you're going to stop second guessing yourself. You're really comfortable with not speaking your mind and not making a move, and that's going to change for you. You're going to learn to trust yourself, and you're also not going to feel like the weight of the world to have like 5 bazillion things that are well sourced to back you up before you go and make a decision. There's been indecision. That's been a big part of blocks in your life from you being at your best you. And this is the opposite of that. You're going to learn that you're going to, wow. For a lot of you, this is going to manifest like anxiety. So for a portion of you, this is people with anxiety. And this is about coming away from that squirrel in the road kind of vibe where you feel like you're not going to make the right decision, so you make no decision, and that never ends well because then the decision gets made for you. That is such a beautiful thing to come out of this exchange, because again, and I say it every reading for every sign. You're probably all sick of me saying it, but it's about trusting yourself in the end. You're going to come out of this with more faith in yourself than you've ever had. That's really beautiful. They have the Page of Wands. They find passion again. They've been on hold, and that's not like them. But they're coming out of Hangman. They're coming out of something they thought was, or it was a marriage. And they learn to find passion, and they learn not to let their passion be dependent on whether their relationship is good or not. Like, you help to create environment and set and by example, and they take it, because you can lead anything by example, but it doesn't mean the other person's going to take it and run with it. They take your example of how you are not in indecision and you're moving, and they understand that they can be themselves and find their passion, and that being upset about somebody else's action shouldn't shut down what they love in life. Those are both big lessons. You're both coming out of big situations. You're both really looking to satiate your soul. You're celebrating like a liberation or freedom from the last situations you were in. And then you both learn like not little things, big, huge soul lessons. The alchemy that this exchange creates, as far as like what you bring with you, the lesson of how you exchange in relationships and all of that. The Wheel of Fortune, not so shabby for Aquarius. I love this reading. I don't even want to pull any other cards because like I don't want anything to like change it. All right. Please. I just want to clarify that upside down chariot. Ace Cups. Ace Cups. Just feeling like new beginning. Look at all the butterflies flying. That's exactly everything that I said. That is beautiful confirmation. New beginning in freedom and liberation. You're the emerging butterfly. You're both were trapped in your cocoons. It's transformation. Getting a card with a bunch of butterflies when you start with death and you end with this. If that does not scream, cards don't lie. Cards don't lie, and they always back me up, which I appreciate. And any advice for this exchange as you're going in, because you're both coming out of something pretty major and pretty ugly, and you're celebrating and watching it burn. But what is the advice? It's funny because it's the only cups is the one that you just got as a clarifier. I mean, the Cancer card is here, so that's just always water and love. But there's some major arcana too, so that means these are big changes. The hottest love has the coldest end. While you're going through all of this transformation, don't just go with what weakens your knees and sets everything on fire. Don't do that, especially now, because we know what it looks like when something sets on fire and then you want to toast marshmallows to its end. And then what is just for yourself, not for the relationship. Deconstructing doubt. What did I tell you about doubting yourself and trusting? Only my beliefs are in my way. But deconstructing doubt is about you trusting in yourself. This is a gorgeous reading. I love the energy coming in for you. Leave me a comment and then come back in a month and leave me another comment because I want to know what's going on. Don't forget to be there for Friday, giving away a 30-minute reading this week, which is kind of a big deal. I don't do that. The internet was like whack last week, and I wanted to just say thank you for everybody's patience. So we're doing that, and that's soul navigation. All the links that you could need are in the description box. Do the thing, press the buttons. I love you, know you love you. Bye, Aquarius.